welcome to the deep dive. So we're jumping into a moment Star Wars often just glosses over, the immediate aftermath of Endor, the huge galaxy-changing victory.
Where the second Death Star is gone, the Emperor too, big celebration, right? But our sources, they paint a picture of chaos, really, exhaustion.
Total exhaustion. And the Alliance fleet, battered. We're talking serious damage.
Yeah, the documents mention major repairs needed, especially on those Mon Calamari star cruisers. They were the backbone, and they were hurting.
Yeah.
But they don't even get a chance to limp back for repairs.
No, because this one weird distress signal pops up, an Imperial signal. And suddenly, it's not mop-up duty. It's a whole new nitro.
Straight-up existential horror show, yeah. And it kicks off the first major crisis for whatever comes next after the Empire.
And our main heroes.
Yeah.
They're reflecting this chaos perfectly. Take Luke Skywalker. He's just faced the Emperor, used, immense force power.
And it cost him. The sources say just engaging his X-Wing drive on the way back from the Death Star caused him, ferocious pain. He's running on empty, worse than empty.
Medics are telling him, rest, back to tank now. But does he listen?
Nope. Skips it all. Ignores the medical droids, 2 Wumbies probably waving frantically at him. Why? Because Wedge Antilles, his friend, might be in trouble based on that signal.
And that right there, that choice, pushing through agony for a friend, it sets the whole tone. This isn't strategy. It's desperation, loyalty, exhaustion.
Exactly. Which leads us straight into the Bakura crisis.
Okay, Bakura, let's place it. Where is this rock, basically?
It's way out there, almost edge of the rim world. And that isolation is key. Post-Endor, the Empire's command structure is shattered. They literally can't send help to Bakura. No ships available or no orders getting through.
Makes sense. And it's not just some backwater, right?
Yeah.
It has value.
Twofold, really. Repulsor lift components, always needed for ships, vehicles, you name it. And then there's this local cash crop, Namana fruit. They make liqueur, candy. It's a moneymaker for the system.
And politically, what's the situation on the ground when this distress signal goes out?
Well, this is interesting. The Empire only took over Bakura about 3 years before this, so people there, they remember being independent. That's huge.
Ah, so fertile ground for diplomacy then, for someone like Leia.
Exactly. It gives her an in against the current Imperial governor, Willick Narius, who's apparently a real piece of work. Tyrannical.
But the immediate problem isn't Narius, bad as he is, it's who he's broadcasting about, these invaders. The Ssi-ruuk.
Yeah, the Ssi-ruuk. This is where it gets genuinely creepy. They're a new enemy, cold, reptilian, technologically advanced in a disturbing way, and guess who invited them?
Oh no, let me guess. Palpatine.
Bingo! The sources suggest Palpatine was making deals all over the place, even beyond the known galaxy. The Ssi-ruuk were meant to be, allies, a secret weapon, whatever it was, it backfired or was interrupted by his death.
And their tech. This is the core of the horror, isn't it? This entechment.
Yeah, entechment. It turns conventional war into something else entirely. Existential dread is the right term. They capture living beings.
Anyone? Or specific types?
Well, the sources specifically say human life energy gives them the most lasting power. But they take others, too. They basically transfer the life force, the brain's electrical activity, everything, into their machines.
Into battle droids. Ship computers.
Both. Imagine battle droids powered by trapped conscious souls. Starship circuits humming with stolen life energy. Yeah.
So they're not just killing people, they're consuming them, like soul vampires. How does the Alliance even process this? How does Luke react?
It's visceral for Luke. Because of the Force, right? He feels it. The sources say the process isn't even stable. The droids suffer fatal psychosis eventually. Need constant recharging with new victims. It's a horrific cycle.
And Luke senses this.
Directly. He feels the agony, the human suffering radiating from the Ssi-ruuk droids when he fights them. He doesn't need a briefing to know how evil this is. The Force screams it at him.
God, that's grim. And there's a human caught up in this too, right? Dev Sabora.
Yeah, Dev. A tragic figure.
Okay.
He's human, but he was adopted, maybe captured young, and conditioned by the Ssi-ruuk. So he helps them, acts as a translator, an intermediary. A collaborator, essentially.
But there's more to it.
There is. In secret, the sources say he's creating a guide to translate the Ssi-ruuk language, which is all whistles and clicks using human musical notation. It's this tiny, desperate act of holding on to his own humanity, maybe trying to bridge the gap somehow, even while serving these monsters.
Wow. Okay, back to the Alliance side. Luke needs to lead this mission, but you said he's in agony. He hates back to tanks.
He really does. Apparently he tasted backed on his breath for a week after a previous dunking. So, yeah, he dreads it.
So how does he function? How does he heal?
Jedi self-healing. But it's not like he's a master yet. He's working off Master Yoda's sketchy lessons, as the source puts it, finding deep silence, using his will to push the pain down. Imagine trying to meditate while your body's screaming and you're commanding a potential battle.
While also dealing with this new existential threat. Meanwhile, the Alliance leadership on Mothma, they have to decide how to respond. Resources are thin.
Right. Stretched incredibly thin.
Yeah.
They're trying to secure Endor itself, plus help Lando Calrissian take back Cloud City from the Empire. Bakura is another fire they just don't have the water for.
So who do they send? A skeleton crew.
Pretty much. Mon Mothma gives Luke command. It's unconventional, he's young, but his record at Endor speaks for itself. And interestingly, the source mentions she cited Obi-Wan Kenobi's, implied guidance, a bit of Force-related justification there.
Fascinating. And Leia.
Leia's crucial. She's the chief negotiator, the face of the Alliance. Han Solo's there too as a general and escort, naturally flying the Falcon.
And the ship they use. Not a standard cruiser, I bet.
Nope. The strike force is centered around the Flurry. It's described as an unconventional cruiser carrier, Virgilian design, but heavily retrofitted with stolen Imperial parts.
The real patchwork, scrappy solution. Reflects the Alliance perfectly.
Exactly. So this small mixed force arrives at Bakura.
And Leia gets to work on the diplomacy, trying to convince Imperials and the local Bakuran Senate, led by Prime Minister Jorg Captason, that they're the good guys.
Yeah, and it's an uphill battle. Governor Neris, his first move is basically, thanks for the warning, now get out of my system. He offers them safe passage away from Bakura.
He doesn't trust them at all.
Not one bit. He sees them as opportunistic rebels. It escalates quickly, with Nereus trying to arrest Leia and the others for sedition. Total breakdown of talks.
And this is where Nereus goes from tyrannical governor to, well, something much worse. He hatches a plan involving Luke.
A truly treacherous, desperate plan. He's terrified of the Ssi-ruuk, but he hates the rebels just as much. So he decides to use Luke as a weapon against the Ssi-ruuk.
Oh.
Biological warfare. He gets these microscopic parasites, Elabrian trucoids, found naturally in those Nemina fruit pods. He manages to get them into a dessert shared by Luke and Senator Gariel Captason.
Wait, what do these parasites do?
Horrible things. Once ingested, they migrate from your stomach to your lungs, and then they start chewing their way towards your heart. It's a slow, agonizing death.
Why would Nereus do this? What's the end game?
It's a twisted gamble. He knows the Ssi-ruuk want Luke alive. They sense his force potential, see him as a massive energy source for entechment.
So Plan A, Ssi-ruuk capture Luke. The parasites spread through their ships, killing them from within. Nereus gets rid of both problems.
Exactly. And Plan B, if the Ssi-ruuk don't capture Luke, well, the parasites will kill him eventually anyway. Or Nereus figures he can just eliminate Luke himself before the infection gets too obvious. Either way, Luke is neutralized, and maybe the Ssi-ruuk threat is too.
Unbelievable cruelty. And Luke is already weakened. How does he even realize he's been poisoned?
Pure Jedi instinct combined with that self-healing attempt. He goes into his trance, trying to manage the pain from the Emperor encounter, and he senses them. Two tiny, greedy pinpoints of life, as the source says, inside his bronchial tubes.
And he just coughs them up.
Not quite that simple. He uses the Force in a really subtle way. He projects the illusion of fresh blood, the scent, sweet metallic deep in his airways. These things are primitive. They're drawn to it. He lures them out of his lungs and then expels them with a massive cough. It's an incredible feat of focus and control.
While basically fighting for his life on multiple fronts, you mentioned Senator Gariel Captason was also targeted.
Yes, she shared the dessert. Nereus wasn't picky about collateral damage, it seems. And Gariel is interesting herself.
How so?
Her beliefs. She follows this religion based on the cosmic balance. She actually views the Force and Jedi using it as dangerous. Like every time a Jedi uses the Force, it takes energy from someone else, somewhere else in the galaxy. A zero-sum game.
So she's fundamentally opposed to Luke, theologically speaking.
Pretty much. Yet Luke senses something strong in her, electrifying, when he reaches out with the Force. And despite her beliefs, when she learns about Nereus's parasite plot, she risks everything to warn Luke.
Immediate danger trumps theology, I guess.
Seems so. Her warning, Leia's arrest, and then another senator, Belden, dying in Imperial custody. That's the spark.
The spark for what?
For the Bakuran uprising. The locals have had enough of Nereus, and the leader who steps up, totally unexpected.
Who is it?
Senator Belden's wife, Epi Belden. Everyone thought the Empire had mind-wiped her years ago, but she reveals she's lucid, takes charge of the resistance, and demands Nereus surrender. It electrifies the population.
A mind wipe reversal. How?
C credits Luke. Apparently early on, before the poisoning, Luke did some minor force healing demonstration, just showing what he could do. Epi says that brief touch somehow restored her mind, her purpose. A tiny act with huge consequences.
Wow. Okay, so Bakura's in revolt. Nereus is cornered. Luke's been poisoned but is fighting it.
Yeah.
Where's the final showdown?
It happens when the Ssi-ruuk make their big play to capture Luke, targeting him at a local cantina. Dev Sibwara, the human collaborator, actually tries to sabotage their plan. It's chaos.
Luke fights back.
Lightsaber blazing. He feels the anger, the fear, the pull to the dark side because of everything happening, but the sources say he consciously resists it. He fights clean.
And Nereus.
Nereus sees Luke, possibly still infected, definitely dangerous, and just panics. Pulls a blaster, tries to shoot Luke, or maybe Gariel, who's nearby.
And Luke
Deflects the bolt right back at him. Nereus is killed by his own desperate act. Classic Imperial self-destruction.
With Nereus gone, what happens to the Imperial forces?
This is another turning point. The Imperial commander, Thanos, sees everything. He sees the Ssi-ruuk, sees Nereus' treachery, sees the Alliance actually fighting effectively, and he sees Luke's skill with the lightsaber. He's impressed, maybe disillusioned.
And he defects.
He does. He surrenders the Imperial cruiser Dominant, which, sidebar, Luke had already subtly sabotaged earlier by using the Force to mess with the pilot's controls, making it easier to cripple. Thanos offers his expertise in ship refitting to the Alliance. A huge intelligence and resource gain.
But these victories always seem to have a cost in Star Wars. What about Dev Sibwara? He tried to help Luke.
He did more than try. He went with Luke onto the Ssi-ruuk flagship, the Ssi-ruuk, helped him destroy the entechment control center, freeing all those trapped life energies in a massive wave.
A redemption arc.
A tragic one. The psychic backlash, the trauma of his whole life. It's too much. Luke tries to pour force healing energy into him, tries desperately to save him, but Dev dies.
So even the Force has limits against that kind of damage.
It seems so. Entechment leaves scars too deep.
So how does it all wrap up on Bakura?
With Nereus gone and the Ssi-ruuk repelled, Prime Minister Captason formally signals Bakura's intent to align with the Alliance. They start forming a home defense force using the Imperial gear Thanos surrendered.
And Senator Gariel Captason, does she go with Luke and Leia?
No, she chooses to stay, to help rebuild Bakura. She puts her duty to her own world first. A tough choice, but maybe the right one for her people.
Okay, so looking back at this whole crisis,
Sure.
What does it tell us about the state of the galaxy right after Endor? What are the big takeaways?
Well, first, victory wasn't about massive fleets anymore, not right away. It was about quick thinking, like Luke's force healing and parasite trick. It was about risky diplomacy, Leia's job. It needed local populations to rise up, like with Epi Belden.
And accepting help from unexpected places, like the defecting Imperial commander.
Exactly. It was messy. It showed the birth of the New Republic wasn't going to be clean. They faced this three-way fight, Imperials, Ssi-ruuk, internal politics, all while dealing with this just soul-destroying enemy tech.
And the war's not over. Not by a long shot.
No way. As Luke's leaving Bakura, he gets another coded message. Admiral Akbar reporting another Imperial battle group scattered. The fight just grinds on. That Endor euphoria, gone, replaced by grim reality.
It's relentless. So a final thought to leave people with.
Think about Epi Belden. The Empire's cruelty, trying to mind-wipe her, almost destroyed her. But that very act and Luke's small counteract of healing provided the spark Bakura needed to free itself when the moment came.
So the Empire's own brutality created the seeds of its defeat.
It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Could the worst things a regime does, the most ruthless acts, actually end up being the very things that bring it down in the end? Seems like the New Republic is about to find out. World by painful world.
A powerful thought. That wraps up our deep dive into the Bakura crisis. Thanks for joining us.